Hello, hello. Welcome back to my space. I hope you are doing well. Listen, I opened the cards here, right? And it's obviously a reading here that is going over your healing. So, as a healer, obviously, I love it. I think that there is here something very important, right? Because the first thing that pops up to me, right, it is that in the change, in the energy of change, we have anger, right? Very often we are afraid of our anger, but our anger is so important, right? Because it's a compass telling us something about our well-being. And unless you accept your anger, there is no place for healing, right? So, what this is telling me, so just to be clear here, right? I took those cards. Obviously, we will get into the tarot. Maybe we will get a more concrete story, right? But right now, I'm just developing what I can feel from here, right? So, with this anger here in the change, this is when everything changed. When you accepted your anger. And this has opened the door to your stability and your foundation. The fear of your power is in reverse. I kind of feel that you might have been very, very uncomfortable with your anger, thinking that it was not okay. Maybe you grew up with people who made you think that it was not okay. Maybe you were in a relationship with somebody who made you feel that you are too sensitive and you are this and you are that, and all those kind of things, right? So, the moment that you accept your anger, right, you are opening the door to your healing. And this is when, in fact, you stop being afraid of yourself. Obviously, when we are talking about anger, we are not talking about acting on anger, right? But just feeling the anger, accepting the anger, legitimizing the anger, right? Very, very important. And this changes everything, right? In the second position related to relationships, partnership, all those kind of things, we have the future self. This is changing. It is impacting your relationships for the future, right? Because until you are a victim of your anger, instead of accepting your anger, you are trying to put it to the side if you feel uncomfortable with this anger, right? Then, as said, there is no healing, and if there is no healing, there is no deeper understanding of yourself, and you might go through the same experiences over and over and over again, right? All there is, it is you being frustrated, not taking your space. And very often, let me just tell you that when you are not taking your emotional space, there is very often an impact on the body. So it might be all kind of things, but for example, how can I say that without creating an issue? You know, things that might be related to your weight fluctuation, being too light or too heavy, absorbing food uncontrollably or not at all. You understand what I mean? All those kind of things. Or we might suffer of allergies, of allergic reactions, migraines, all those kind of things, right? Very often it comes from not taking your emotional space. It puts a lot of stress on yourself when you are doing that, when you are just trying to compress the energy of those feelings, right? They don't go away. They install themselves into your body. So it's very important, and this is changing all your future relationships, right? Because once you accept your anger, right, and you are doing the healing work, you are being more conscious in your relationships. First of all, you are not pushing to the side when you are feeling something. You are interrogating yourself, and you are maybe opening discussions. It allows more honest relationships at the end of the day. It doesn't mean that you were not honest before, but you putting your own feelings to the side, it is kind of a lack of self-respect in some kind of way, right? I hope that you understand what I'm telling you. But it kind of feels here that you might have been dealing with people who made you feel that your feelings were very uncomfortable, right? There is the entitlement here, right? So maybe the moment that you started to express your feelings, you were put back in your spot, right? Like if you did something wrong, which it's so complicated for some people to already accept their feelings. So when this is happening, it is just closing you even more, right? And in the first place, in the setting and the subject, we have the right time, right? So there is here something about experience, maturity. Sometimes we wish that things would have been different, that we would have done things differently, but there is a timing for things, right? So with the right time here, this is a little bit what's coming to me. Conditions are ideal and the timing is aligned. So is it that maybe before emotionally you were not prepared to accept your feelings? Maybe. I'm seeing in front of me the Two of Swords, right? And with the Two of Swords, we are talking about intuitively knowing something, but if you accept this truth, then you will have to take a decision, right? And maybe it wasn't possible in the past for some kind of reason, right? Maybe it means separating yourself from some people. Maybe it means moving. We often need some kind of security, right? In order to allow ourselves to accept some kind of truth, right? And at the bottom of the deck, I love that we have fear in reverse, right? So you might have been guided by fear, but I kind of feel here, wow, look, the unseen, self-sabotage, judgment. I will stop. What was I saying? The fear. I don't know. I don't remember. Anyway, it doesn't matter. Let's put those cards up and let's get into a reading. Maybe we will get a real story here. I don't know. We will see. And in honor of Chris, I know what deck I am going to use. So if you don't know, Chris is somebody who's always trying to put the first comments, and he's encouraging everybody to hype. And it's truly a real support for me since kind of the beginning of the channel. So Chris, you said that you like this deck. So this one is for you. I knew today, sitting, that this would be the deck that I would use. So it doesn't mean that I will use it all the time, right? But today I am. So let's see, let's get a little bit more information. Just a reminder, this is a collective reading, which means that it is a group reading, which means that it might be for you, it might be partly for you, and it might not be for you. So please take what resonates, leave the rest. Don't take on yourself a story that is not yours. If I'm talking about masculines or feminines, I'm not especially talking about the gender. I am talking about the energy of the card. So please apply it however it applies, and this reading can be past, present, or future. Okay, so it's interesting. I'm looking at the fear card, which is in reverse, right? But what is written on the card, it is fear lied to you and promised you safety in staying small. Interesting, right? So you didn't allow it anymore because the fear is in reverse. So right time, tell me. The page of Pentacles in reverse, the page of Wands, and the Judgment. Okay, so it's interesting because this is kind of telling me here, right, that you might have had a hard time to how can I say that? We have two pages here, right? So this is bringing me back to your childhood. And with the Pentacles in reverse, we are talking about a lack of care, right? So I kind of feel here that you might have been a beautiful inspiration to other people. But at the same time, you might have dried yourself out because you were not taking care of yourself emotionally, right? We are talking about emotions here, right? It might also be physically, but you might have been struggling in order to manifest whatever you wanted to manifest, right? You might have been very stressed out, putting a lot of energy out, right? Without filling back your own cup. This is what I feel here, and I kind of feel that at a certain moment there might have been some kind of aha moment, some kind of understanding. So it might be someone who said something, and it might be something that you heard in the past already, but suddenly it's like you could hear it in a different way, right? And it might just be, that you cross some kind of code somewhere, or maybe in a dream state. But there is here something with the page of Wands that we have here. I kind of feel the aha moment. Suddenly, some kind of realization, right? Some kind of drive, some kind of inner movement, right? This is what I feel here. And with the Judgment, I truly feel here that you judge yourself in some kind of way, which is important. Let me check if you can see all the cards. You can, and I have more space. I love that. Okay, so the right time was this aha moment, right? Maybe there is something also, you might have also had some kind of health issue. It might also have been with the Page of Pentacles in reverse, right? And that you understood that you needed to make some kind of change. It might also be, okay, tell me something about the right time. Ooh, the Seven of Swords in reverse. I was wondering that. Okay, listen. There is here something about you realizing something about other people, right? With the Judgment here, you judged yourself, but it is attached to other people, realizing something about other people, right? And this has... I will give you an example, right? You might have been someone who always took care of everybody, right? A people pleaser, a caretaker. If you felt that somebody needed something, you would have been the first to... They didn't even have to ask. You would have just proposed your help. And then maybe you realize that at a certain moment you were struggling with something, and you realize that the same people for who you were already always there, always proposing your help, you didn't have the same thing in exchange, right? There is here something about you realizing something about opening your eyes to some kind of behaviors that you wouldn't that are not in alignment with you, right? So maybe, you know, people maybe you have started to express yourself and you realize that people were gaslighting you, or they were projecting on you. There is here the element of trying to get away with something, right? So I kind of feel here that this might have been what happened here, that suddenly you realize that you were, is the word overgiving, right? Maybe overgiving, right? Giving all to others, so much so that you couldn't truly take care of yourself. And there was an understanding here, right? Something that created this aha moment where you had to put down a judgment. You couldn't avoid it anymore because you saw something, right? Let's see here the future self. Yeah, we are talking here about, it's amazing because we have the future self here and we have the Two of Wands, right? And we are in the place of relationship, partnership, friendship, connections, right? And look, we have here, we might be talking about your friends here, right? Your friends group. Realizing that at the end of the day, you were carrying a lot of burdens. You might have been overthinking all the time, being stressed out all the time, feeling guilty all the time, while you shouldn't have, because I kind of feel that you were overgiving here. I feel that you were totally sacrificing yourself. I feel self-sacrifice here. And you had to start plan things differently. You might have been in a burnout, emotional burnout, in your environment that is supposed to be happy. With the Three of Cups, we are talking about people with who you celebrate. It's supposed to be your friends. And it kind of feels here a lot of stress, a lot of sadness, a lot of anguish, nightmares, overthinking, right? So it kind of feels that you truly understood here that you need to plan things differently. With the Two of Wands. Observe the situation. Look at this person, right? They're observing the situation. The world is in their hand, right? So there is this, I kind of see it like having a bird's eye view, right? On your life, on your relationships, on what there is. This person is holding here a wand, right? The other one is free. So this one can be become whatever it's supposed to become. But I kind of feel here that it was truly about revisiting your connections and who you are in your connections, right? Realizing something about other people, but understanding that maybe you need to plan things differently or present yourself differently in your connections. Okay, let's see here. I will take one more card for the future self. Give me one more card here, please, for the future self. Yeah, you were not in control. It truly feels self-sacrifice. It truly feels like giving control over other people. And I feel that it might not be that you realize, especially, that you gave control on other people, but because maybe of your people-pleasing tendency, right? Because who you are as a human being, maybe a caretaker, you know, it truly reflects on me, right? I'm a healer, so today I'm a professional healer, but when I was younger, I didn't know what to study, and so at the end of the day, I decided to go and study psychology because I was interested, but I knew that I didn't want at that time be a psychologist. And when somebody asked me why, I said because I already feel that I'm a psychologist in everybody's life anyway, so it's too much. I cannot do that, but I'm interested, so I'm going to the university and I'm studying that, right? And then I shifted. But it's kind of, and afterwards, after I did a career and after I healed, right? Now I can be a healer because in my life I am nobody's healer. So now I can be a healer. Before it was impossible, right? So here that there is this I truly feel here that, you know, and you might have been dealing with people who took advantage of that, right? Because they were in control. They were in control. If they had some kind of issue in their life, you would be there. You would abandon everything and be there for them. But it doesn't mean that they would have done the same for you, right? Okay, so you had to think about your future self, right? Okay, entitlement. Whew. Yeah, it's what I said before, right? I kind of feel that the moment that you started to change, right? Accept your anger, express your anger, you were not helped, right? We have the Six of Swords here in reverse. So they didn't allow you to go towards calmer waters. So as said, you might have been gaslit, you might have been accused of being creating problems, creating drama. You didn't have like a receiving recipient, right? They were immediately bringing back other things about you, accusing you of other things, right? This is truly what it feels like. In fact, they were entitled. They were entitled, some people in your environment, right? We are talking about some people, maybe not everybody. But there was this element of some people, you know, they got used to you being the giver and being always open to give your all, right? And so when you started to react, I kind of feel that you were not helped, right? You were not helped. The Four of Wands. Yeah, I kind of feel that the moment that's, you know, because here's the thing, right? Because if you were totally invested, which means that whoever was around you and you felt that they needed something, you would have given it, right? You might have one shirt on yourself, but if somebody needed it, you would have given it, right? So it means that you truly came from a very empathetic place towards people, right? And the moment that you wanted to heal and change yourself and do the changes that you felt that needed to occur, you might have felt, as said, some kind of resistance. And I kind of feel that what you realize is that people, if you were not just bringing them the stability that they wanted, if you were not about being fun, then they were not interested, right? And you might have realized that they were absolutely not emotionally connected as you were, right? So you might have spent a lot of time questioning yourself, trying to forgive things that maybe hurt you very, very deeply, that you might even not have expressed to other people, right? You might have said, okay, I need to sort that out, right? I need to, maybe you thought that you are problematic or you are too sensitive, and because of that, you didn't want to put it on others, right? So I kind of feel here that you realize that at the end of the day, that there was no way to get to a peaceful place. It was either you are fun and you are light and you are making it comfortable for other people, or there was nothing because people were not operating from their heart space. They were not, right? Anything else here about the entitlements? Entitlements. Yeah. There was no real investment. people were not investing in you, right? It was like you are there, you are comfortable, you are giving, you are generous, you are empathetic, you are comfortable, right? But the moment that it becomes a little bit uncomfortable, there is no one, right? Because you are just supposed to be fun. This is what you are supposed to be, right? Yeah, and the moment that, you know, and here's the thing, because you might have been fun, and then you might have gone through a phase where you became very, very reactive, right? Because you were trying to compress your anger, you were asking a lot of yourself, and not from others, right? So you might have started to become very easily irritated, maybe very, very protective, so knowing that you would be very, very reactive, so you stop accepting some kind of invitations and things like this because you were afraid of yourself, right? In fact, you were abusing yourself by not accepting your feelings, right? Not thinking that you just have to be comfortable, that you cannot bring your feelings to the front, right? So you were abusing yourself, but at the end of the day, it was abuse. So you were in emotional distress, right? So, and I kind of feel here, you know, so it might have been your environment that you realized at the moment that you were changing or trying to have deeper conversation, you got out of those discussions frustrated, right? And it might also be that simply you felt that you had no right to be anything but fun, right? But it was just stressing you out because no person is just fun, right? And you might have been surrounded, because this is often what's happening, right? If you are a light source, very often you attract a lot of people that are absolutely not a light source. They are the darkness, right? And so you are just there being the light for them, and they are not feeling you. But because you are not considering yourself, then you are not getting fulfilled all the time. You are always in a role of the caretaker, right? Okay. So let's see here what we are getting for the fear of your power. Tell me the fear of your power in reverse. It's beautiful, listen. I was talking about the Two of Swords before, right? Knowing something intuitively, right? But being in this stalemate position because you know that if you accept this truth, then some changes need to occur, and sometimes we are not ready for that, right? At a certain moment, what happened, and I kind of feel, considering the place where we are now, right? The card came out like this. You are not afraid of your power anymore because you are not afraid of your feelings anymore, right? You accept your feelings, and now the people around, it will depend on your feelings, right? And when you accept your feelings also, then you are much more in touch with your intuition, right? Because if you are rejecting your anger, you are rejecting your feelings, then you cannot truly be connected to your intuition, right? So here there is this place of accepting this truth, right? Healing. This is healing. Yeah, and blocking whatever needs to be blocked. You have the Eight of Wands in reverse here. So this is blocking whatever you know now that is not okay. And if people are angry, then they are angry. It's okay. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. You are not afraid anymore, right? You are not afraid anymore of being you. And this is essential. This is essential because then you are also attracting connections that are in alignment with you, right? Because before, I kind of feel that you accepted everybody, right? Okay. Let's see here. I want to take one more card regarding this fear of your power in reverse. Tell me the fear of power in reverse. Yeah, listen. This is blocked energy. This is stagnant energy. So I kind of feel that you blocked when you realized, right? Once you healed, you might have been able to see things much more clearer, right? And I kind of feel that you felt that some connections or some people around you were not growing, right? They might even have kept you stagnant in some kind of way. And I kind of feel that then you might have blocked them, right, in some kind of way. It very often happens, right? It doesn't mean that all our environment before our healing is bad, especially, right? But when you are not in total acceptance of yourself, very often the relationships that are into your life are just connections that happened, right? And so very often once we are healing, the people that we choose in our life, the people that with who we entertain a connection is very different. So first of all, there is this element that now it's not just, okay, I entertain every kind of connection that wants to entertain me in my life, right? I become more selective because I know myself, I know my needs, right? Very often also, as said, when you are a giver, then you might be surrounded by a lot of takers and not even realize it until the day that truly you are in a place that you need support. And then you realize that in fact you don't have the support, right? But there is also another element that I think that it's important to talk about it. It is not so easy to make a shift in a connection. Because in connections, we are very often embodying a role, you know, like with some friends, you might feel that you are the big sister or the big brother, right? And so it comes with a role, right? Or you know, you might be the person that's, you know, when somebody wants to go out, they know that they can call you because you will never say no, right? And suddenly you don't want to do that anymore. Suddenly when somebody's asking you if you want to go out, you are thinking about it. Do I want? Do I, you know? So the dynamic changes, and it's not because you are changing that the other person is able also to change, right? So there is also this element, but very often the result, it is that with healing comes a real cleansing of the environment, a real one, a deep one, right? So yeah, you might have felt that some people kept you stuck in some kind of way. So you might have decided to move on from them, right? Because suddenly you saw things, or your needs were different. Because when you refuse your anger, right? When you refuse your feelings, when you are all about taking care of others, very often you don't even know what are your needs. Your needs start to express themselves, but it's often very uncomfortable because it is more needs that are related to a response of the stress that you are imposing on yourself, right? And so suddenly you might become much more sensitive to all kind of things, right? But those are not real needs. They are needs, right? But they are needs that are a result of some kind of it's a stress response, in fact, right? It's a CPTSD, right? It's a post-traumatic response. So you might feel the need to feel safe all the time, and so you have all those kind of responses, but those are not truly maybe real needs, right? This is needs that are just I said it's a result of stress. But once you are healing, right, then comes your own needs, accepting your own needs. The fact that you are not there to be comfortable for everyone. You have to be comfortable also for yourself. And this changes the game. It changes everything, right? And suddenly you can realize that with some people, when you were sitting there, you were the one holding the conversation, that they were not so pleasant, in fact, but you were so much dedicated into them that suddenly, once you are healing, you realize that they never ask you what's up with you, how do you feel, do you need something, that they are only calling when they need something, that when you are seeing them, it's always when it's comfortable for them, never for you, that they don't adapt yourself to your needs. You understand? All those things are coming to light once you are embracing your feelings, right? Then you are also reconnecting with your needs, and this changes everything, right? So the anger. I'm sorry. Wait, let me just shuffle here. Let's go into the anger. Tell me the anger. Yeah, listen. It's beautiful. Look what's happening here, right? We started with one pentacle in reverse, right? We are here in the place of change. Look. The one pentacle is in the upright, right? Once you accept your anger, we are in the place of change. And I see here the anger, but it's anger, it's sadness, it's frustration, it's all the feelings, right? It's all of them. Accepting them. It means accepting yourself, right? It means accepting yourself at the end of the day, right? Look what we have here. Celebration. You know, I had a shrink that said to me once, they said, this person said to me, people are reacting very well to assertiveness, right? I always felt that I needed to make myself comfortable to everyone, right? That I couldn't be assertive. I couldn't say I want that and I don't want that. I felt that there was no space for that. And maybe in my environment there was no space for that. But then it was important for me to know that I cannot be assertive in my environment. It's important to know. It's better to change environment than just not allowing yourself to take your space and sacrifice yourself for others all the time, right? So yes, so here's the thing, the moment that you accept yourself, right? So yeah, maybe you might have, you might lose connections, but were they really good connections? If they would only accept you if you are sacrificing yourself, right? Why? There is victory here, and it's interesting because it's public victory, right? Yeah, the Ten of Pentacles. This is the moment also that you can truly leave your mark as yourself. You are not a servant of other souls, right? Souls, individuals, family members, friends, acquaintances. You are not anymore. You are bringing your own self here, the Ten of Pentacles. This is leading to leaving a mark. Leaving a mark when all you are is a ghost in order to be comfortable to everyone but yourself. What are you bringing of yourself? Nothing. Most people don't even see you. They don't respect you, right? The Ten of Pentacles, and then we have the manifestation, the real manifestation, right? Because it's a manifestation that is not out of comfort for other people. It's for you. It comes from you. It comes from the expression of your soul. Because you allow it to be there. Because you allow yourself to feel. Right? Okay. Anything else here about the anger? Four of Pentacles. It's interesting because this is kind of talking about greediness, but I kind of feel that it's an important thing, right? Especially what I feel that I need to tell you here, right? It is that very often when we have been all about other people, right? Starting to pay attention to ourselves might feel like if we are selfish, right? Even though we might have given everything and being surrounded only by people who are very self-centered, very selfish, they never care about us. But even then, because it is so different of ourselves, we might feel uncomfortable. We might think that we are selfish. Let me just tell you something, that being selfish is not a bad thing. It's like everything. It has to be in balance, right? But being selfish, it is important. Taking care of yourself, it is important, right? Kind of feel that this is what I need to tell you here about that, because we are with the Four of Pentacles, the stability of your value, holding on to the stability of your own values. What is important to you, what you need. What you need. What is the cost to be with you in your presence? Because I kind of feel that until then, the cost was nothing. You were kind of paying, and it doesn't mean in money, in energy, in attention. Paying other people that were in your life, right? Okay, let's go to closure here. I realize that I have black here. I have all kind. I'm sorry, right? You don't care. I think that you don't care about all of that. Okay, let's see. Let's get to closure here. Closure, please. Yeah, listen. There is here some kind of element of I feel here with this Four of Cups, it is in reverse, right? I feel here that there is this, with the Four we are talking about stability, right? And with the Cups we are talking about the emotional self, right? I kind of feel here that what we are talking about more, it is the fact that you might have felt the need to protect yourself emotionally, but it might have been related to the environment and the fact that you, for some kind of reason, you didn't take your full space, right? And the moment that you are taking your full space because you don't feel that you need to work for others, right? This is working with other people. Here, you are not working for other people. You are working for yourself. It gives you some kind of openness and freedom. I know that at a certain moment, I realized, I was like, okay, I'm totally dedicated to the people in my life. But because I'm so dedicated, I cannot have a lot of people in my life because I want to be totally dedicated. Until I realized that the people that I was dedicated to, they were not dedicated to me, or anyway, even if they were, they didn't have the emotional ability or the wisdom or the awareness or whatever it may be. There were no support in my life. Let's just say this way, because for some of them I don't think that it didn't come from a bad place, especially, right? It was not against me, it's just who they are, right? But so, instead of checking the people around me, I was just, okay, I need to, people that want to go, it's they can go, because anyway, because I'm so dedicated, so I cannot be dedicated to too many people. It's not possible, right? Because I was giving all. The moment that you stop doing that, you stop working for other people, you are working for yourself. It changes everything, right? There is here something about mental clarity and seeing the truth, right? I think that we should truly, I thought that being authentic is being the same person with everyone. I don't think this way anymore. I think that being authentic is who you are, and it doesn't mean that I need to explain my life to everyone. I don't have to give access to everyone. I don't need to answer all the questions. And if I don't answer questions, then I'm not authentic. It has nothing to do with that. And also, I understood that I don't need to be the same person with everyone, right? I adapt myself according to who I am dealing with, right? For me, there was no acquaintances. There were people that I knew because we grew up in the same town or things like this, that we were not friends. But people that were in my life, for me, they were friends. I would have given my all for them, right? And if I couldn't give my all for some kind of reason, I was feeling bad about it, right? That I couldn't give more, that I couldn't travel to any one of their events or whatever, I felt guilty, right? For people who might have never moved the little finger for me, right? Because I want to be authentically myself, and authentically myself was caring, generous, being there for other people. Not like being there. If they need me, then I'm there. And I'm quite sure, now looking back, that many people might have invited me thinking that I would say no. Maybe wishing that I say no. But for me, why would you invite me? If you invite me, it means that you want me there. So even if I don't find my place there or I don't want to be there, I will be there because you invited me. While at the same time, maybe they were just inviting me pro forma. They didn't truly want me to be there, right? I have one invitation in mind that at the end of the day, I didn't go. But the way that the person invited me, and then they guilted me because I didn't go, right? But I kind of feel that it was all bullshit, right? We are talking already, I was already healed, right? So anyway, let's see, is there anything else here? Yes, seeing the truth, who's working with you and who is not working with you. And you can be open, right? And do the selection. You don't have to be the same person with everybody. Look what other people are doing for you. Don't be afraid, right? Don't be afraid to have people being dissatisfied. Yeah, you cannot give your heart space to everyone. You cannot give your empathy to everyone. It's first of all about your balance. And if you see that you are dealing with people who are not coming from their higher self, right? Just see it for what it is. See it for what it is, then you keep your total independence. Right? This is about self-love, abundance, right? Being strategic, being the leader of your own life. Being the leader of your own life. Not just being a victim of who you are, right? Not being a victim of who you are. Evaluating, accepting yourself. It's not because you are very, very empathetic that you have to be the empathetic one in your connections, right? You can use your empathy in order to understand who has this level of empathy too, right? Who can give it back to you. And it doesn't mean that you don't have to have empathy towards other people, right? You can have empathy, but it doesn't mean that you have to sacrifice yourself, right? Because trust and believe that some people will use that against you. So anyway, listen, I hope that it was insightful, helping, maybe even healing. I want to say, if not at least entertaining, but I'm not sure that it was especially entertaining. I kind of feel that it was more about, talking about healing, about relationship, all those kind of things. So I'm sending a lot of love and good vibes to you, a lot of healing vibes if you need them too. I'll see you in the comments. Until very, very soon. Bye.